mark. The moment the smoke screen comes down, the silence is popped. There's nothing she can really do except hope to survive it long enough to get her dominance ice out. Her destructive,
Actually, to be honest
cold.
with you, I do have the bans in front of me right now, and I don't see Valier. I'm not okay. Because you said that, it makes more sense to ban out the Valier, but I'm not sure. That's why I'm doubting what I wrote. I didn't write Valier in the ban, so I'll have to double check this again. But I don't think actually Valier was banned. I'll have to double check.
Regardless, both would be pretty bad because they're susceptible to Natalia.
That is true. So right now we are down into our second game of this round. We got already some of the bans and picks coming in. It's going to be BOSSKURR and Resurgence. Contra, what do you have to say?
Well, looks like what you wished for kind of came true, as BOSSKURR will be able to actually take some of these sort of picks that RSG did manage to secure, which is going to be the Natalia. With that being said, they are still going in for what's optimum for themselves, which will be what Sync was playing early on, the Selena, as well as that carry for LY4. So, of course, going back towards the draft, we are having pretty much a lot of options still available. BOSSKURR could still opt to go for that Uranus if they want to, and yes, it will possibly be that for too easy for Depths right here, or it's for Sino to play out.
Yeah, and I really like what Team BOSSKURR is doing here. They lock in the Natalia. Now they've got their offlaner. They could go for their tank, but it looks like they want to play something a little bit more early game oriented. And I mean, it's very prominent the moment Bruno is locked in, because he is, out of all the marksmen, really, really strong in the earlier stages of the game. Mid game doesn't get too good, but his late game is not as bad. It's not as bad as, you know, some of the other marksmen available.
And now over on the side of Jason, he was the one playing Natalia. So I wonder what exactly will be the next cause of action, and it will be the Grok that's left out in the open. And that will definitely be a very good run for either KZP or even Sana to actually use in this matchup.
This is going to be a scary draft here, because both teams can pivot the other way to get some kind of disengage if they if they find it absolutely necessary here. But Resurgence will have the initial ban. They're probably going to look towards either their support options and tank options. So my guess, either Hylos, Kufra, and yeah, there's the Kufra.
Now things are getting more and more interesting. Well, they could have actually got the Kufra for themselves, but since Jawhead was not being picked also early, they are trying to remove Resurgence's high priority right there. But with that being out for the count, it seems like they would like to play the export. So, what do you think about the export coming in? I feel like it's pretty decent, but you know, last game they went for that Tamus, and it worked pretty well for Sana.
Well, I mean, in this particular situation, I think Resurgence is just very aware, giving a lot of respect to the Natalia. So at least they have a way to actually deal with the Natalia if she decides to get close here. So with the export, if she jumps on him, the Firaga armor will be able to save his life. He can use his Flame Stokes to kind of bait out spells coming out from Natalia. But Team BOSSKURR coming in with a very solid composition here, with a Hylos on top of the Valier to round it off.
Yeah, now I do like the Valier to actually coming towards this existence ever since that Sync could just move in and out after landing an Abyssal Arrow. Same goes towards the export, so he can easily just push them aside. And with that being said, I wonder whether or not will they get that sort of the dive on towards the Bruno, and KZP will still go in ahead to actually get that Tamus here. So I'm wondering, with that being said, it seems to be a export support. Would that be it?
It could be, but we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to look at emblems first more than anything else, and whether or not he does decide to buy the mask. Then we'll kind of figure out from there whether or not their composition wants to either go for split push, or if they want to go for, you know, the regular, a regular 1-2-2 composition. It's hard to say. Like, a lot of it comes down to what emblems they bring, so you have a better idea of their role in the game.
Of course, right now we're about to actually begin our matchup once again in the best of 3 between RSG versus BOSSKURR. And of course, Resurgence have already got 1 point in the back. They just need one more to qualify in towards the semifinals in the upper bracket. Now, we're definitely getting ourselves in towards the battlefield once again. And seems like the ones that are getting the mass here would be the Hylos as well as Selena. And already with the offense, Sync's gonna try to burn down too easy for Deb, but right now both teams are looking to actually defend some of all these positions, but there's a little bit of invasion coming in from the Natalia all the way to the back. Oh no.
Yeah, she's hoping to steal, and yep. Ooh, Zaraki, that was a really good play. That's going to slow them down significantly, and now Sync is coming into the backside, trying to get that gauge up to maximum to hopefully slow them down, but Team BOSSKURR is going to walk away with this. That's a huge win for Team BOSSKURR here, because that's going to slow down the major carries and also the support coming in from Jason. Sync just lost his Firaga armor against Zaraki, which now makes him susceptible to getting executed.
Yeah, and this is actually very interesting to see Sync on that export. Now he's going to suffer so much. Flicker popping up, and this is definitely going to be first blood going in for Zaraki with a clean dive. And of course, going back in towards the base with even more gold.
This is so good, and now Jason, he's gonna get right on top just to repay them in kind. Sino goes down on the Uranus with a quick follow-up of an Abyssal Arrow on top of the trap. Really nicely done by Jason here, and now both teams back on equal footing. Oh, KZP, can he clear this way fast enough?
Oh man, he definitely will be able to actually put all these members of Team BOSSKURR aside. RSG looking to secure the very first turn with a really good rotation right down the bot side. But Sino, of course, cannot actually do all too much. He's just going to be looking towards securing some position. And, of course, eventually take out all these sort of waves that will come by. Now, looks to me, at the very least, Resurgence has managed to balance things out. But they're looking for a little bit more coming from the side of BOSSKURR. It's going to be that turtle coming up in less than a minute, but Zaraki has been so actively hunting, and none of these members of RG has been able to punish.
Yeah, so far they haven't really done too much in terms of punishment, but they did net themselves a free turret down on the bottom side of the map. So technically it's a win no matter how I look at it. But for Team BOSSKURR, I think they're doing the right idea. They're punishing Sync for, you know, oh, he wants to play a fighter? Sure, we know he isn't as efficient as Sana. However, we're just going to keep diving him, like dive him again and again and again. We're going to punish you for playing something that you don't usually bring to the table.
Resurrecting soon.
That's right, and of course, when we were talking about punishment, sure, I'm not too sure whether or not will they be able to actually put some of all these guys even further behind. And looking in towards the jungle, of course, Logan as well as Leisha is going to be securing this buff first before they try to actually pressurize the corners of the turtle. But Sino, all by himself now, is going to be dove upon on by Sana, but he will be able to still be soaking in some damage.
Yeah, just look at how both of these teams are prioritizing the mid lane. Like, they both understand that they need to control this mid lane so they can rotate towards the turtle as both teams are playing. And Sync, doing a very good job right now, has chunked out Zaraki just enough to push him out of the lane as he has priority over the top side. This means that Turtle, if Turtle doesn't work out for them, they can easily just rotate towards the top side of the map. Oh, Sync coming in with a big flicker and last insanity.
Oh my, this fight here is erupting with Jabs running in between, and he flickers off in towards the wrong direction. He will be falling off flat. And now Resurgence not only gets Jabs, they manage to secure Logan, and BOSSKURR fights back. Will be able to actually get Sana in return, but they are chasing Zaraki, which is very, very elusive.
Yep, Zaraki's making it difficult for Resurgence to stick to their game plan because it's taking so much time to get rid of him here. Sync is susceptible to getting to Executor, so he's probably going to recall after he gets his armor. Nope, looks like he's just going to spell vamp his way back up to full health. Back to Turtle, RSG.
Yeah, now, of course, Debs is just waiting in line. He knows what's exactly going on, but can they actually steal it? They don't really have that retribution to actually get it over on hand, so they're just going to be giving it away to RSG. But Sana, though, he's actually fighting back. Sino almost falling down, but right now KCP is just guarding the gates and not letting the Natalia come right in.
Nice play from Sana there, using his ultimate to heal off of the minions as well. And notice where he threw his molten sights. He wasn't exactly targeting. He wanted to make sure he landed on a couple of minions on top of landing a few on a little bit onto Lexia there, just to make sure that he is spell vamping just enough for maximum efficiency.
Yes, indeed, and we're definitely looking at those sort of efficiency levels. Resurgence is still getting some great goal out of all these situations, while of course Jeff often getting himself into its very sticky situation. But after all, Halas has to do what he's got to do to actually get advantages. But Sync now being cornered up, Viraga Armor being brought down to pretty much half before he gets popped out using this last insanity. That tower's going to go down, and there's no way for him to escape. This one's pretty much in the back for Team BOSSKURR.
Yeah, I don't know how the comms went down there, but Resurgence were basically telling Sync to just hold his ground, because look across the map. Sana's got a great push down on bottom side. They were able to get mid tier 1 now, and now they're just going to rotate towards Sana's side of the map. Like, this is very efficient play. And even though Team BOSSKURR wanted it to be the aggressor this game, they've slowly lost that goal lead every single time because Resurgence is just pathing way more efficiently. Just keep your eyes on the minimap on how Jason sorry, not Jason, but LY4 is actually farming every single moment, every single time he moves across the map. There is purpose for him to be there, either to pick up farm or to get a free kill just so he can stack up his bounty hunter.
Yeah, I love the decision making coming from the side of Resurgence, as we've seen witness to how they actually sacrifice Sync to actually gain even more advantages over mid as well as the bottom tier 2. And speaking of which here, seems like Jason has already been spotted out, and that turtle will go in favor of Resurgence once again, not being able to actually stop them. But here comes the flickers coming in from Xeno as well. As too easy for Jeff. Jeff being brought down to 50%, but of course they're looking for Logan as well. No, big last insanity way popping over the back as we are looking at Sync here trying to actually outlast them. But now the rest of the RSG members coming right in. Xeno's just cutting by, flickers it out, and oh my goodness, LY4 still gets it killed.
And KZP is telling the rest of the team, Zaraki is nearby, guys. If you are low, start your recall, start hiding away, or find a way to get out of there before Zaraki finds you.
Oh, he does.
Oh, he made it.
Oh, just 1 more second, he would have been gone. Yeah, and
totally, dude.
I thought that he could have definitely landed that blow if he was just any later than that. And speaking of which, Zaraki has to have the C's on hand, so he's definitely gonna hurt like a truck.
Yeah, he will hit very, very hard now, especially for his first ability with the extra, empowered, empowered damage. Oh, okay. So they spot out somebody into the brush here. It looks like Jason is playing a very aggressive game. He isn't looking to catch too many people out with the Abyssal Arrow, and yes, that is his duty. However, I think the most important thing is gaining information with KZP, using the traps to kind of cover their flanks from the likes of Zaraki.
That's right, of course, we're looking at Xeno trying to actually go in for the offense, but it's going to be a big dive coming in from Sync, and it will be a double kill going in favor of the side of KZP. And now they have really got to deal with that beefy tank, and Zaraki has just got to make his run for his life, and he's getting spotted out already. And he's not going to be lasting long here with 4 members down from the side of Team BOSSKURR.
Yeah, Team BOSSKURR really committed hard to get LY4, but LY4 was able to kind of reposition himself in a place where Team BOSSKURR had no escape. They either were to have to run towards the enemy side of the map or somehow make it through river, which, you know, KZP and the rest of the team had kind of completely cut off. So well played to Resurgence, especially LY4 for making the best out of that situation. But the question is whether or not they're able to contest lore, because I don't think Team BOSSKURR is in any fighting condition to take care of Resurgence if they do decide to take Lord for themselves.
Yeah, and of course, now that the Lord has come up online, I definitely felt like RSG definitely has a lot of all these capabilities to actually keep them at bay, but I'm not really sure. The one good sort of move coming from Zaraki might be able to actually secure something for themselves for Team BOSSKURR, but now trying to actually secure that buff, it will still fall in the hands of RSG. Wall charge coming in. Oh, flicker in towards that last insanity. Does not actually clip over on towards anybody, but now they're gonna go in towards reset. But Xeno has got a little bit of other plans here to distract RSG.
Oh, the damage coming out of LY4, and that was just, you know, the ult as well as one Phantom Step, enough to proc multiple, proc it quite a few times, but now they're going for a hard engage onto Jason. Jason's in a lot of trouble. He's taking quite a bit of damage, but he uses his Winter Truncheon to bail out of the situation. LY4, he has no way to get in on this fight. He's gonna get his red buff, and I think RSG might re-engage off of this. They have to be careful, Zaraki here, but it looks like Team BOSSKURR isn't gonna fully commit to cleaning up the rest of the RSG squad.
But they definitely be able to actually push them back for at least a while longer. So most importantly, none of them have been able to actually attempt on the Lord. So RSG has to actually be forced to defend for a little while, and now Team BOSSKURR can actually look for a second opportunity to actually find a little bit more pickoffs.
Yeah, totally. And remember that both sides don't actually have Retribution. So Zaraki might actually have a positional advantage against Resurgence if Resurgence decides to do the Lord. Because the moment it's low, Zaraki comes nearby, and Resurgence, if they don't burst it down fast enough, it might actually get, Lord might actually get stolen. So I can understand why Resurgence is a little hesitant to do the Lord. They kind of want to get rid of Zaraki before anything else.
Yeah, and right now, Zaraki is running around pretty much freely while they are having a couple of all these members here trying to actually chase him down. Even if they do commit, I'm pretty sure the rest of BOSSKURR should be ready to respond as well. Maybe with that being said, he's sort of like a bait to actually bring members of Resurgence into its uncharted territories, and that's where Team BOSSKURR looks to strike.
Yep, and now once again, too easy for Jeps. Getting caught out, he really can't get out here, even with the Glorious Pathway. Just KZP locking off that entire area. Zaraki, the next to fall. Jason making sure he drops the Abyssal Trap right into the smoke screen, allowing him to get a free proc onto Zaraki, insta-killing him at the very end. And now with Luminous Lord back up, Resurgence, very happy with how they set up the situation, are going to try for the Lord.
Yeah, and RSG, of course, having that sort of firepower. They're looking for Logan. Oh, look at that burst coming from LY4. Well, it's going to be safe here. Diving over the side of Glacia, as Glacia ignores all the way back, but they are trying to actually move this wave up towards the mid lane, while Sana is trying to stop Xeno from doing so, but instead getting caught up in between. Glacia might just actually secure the kill. Only one more hit in it, and oh my goodness, he will be able to actually survive. Of course, Sync will have the immortality. He will still come back up online. While RSG slowly but surely defending it well, but Team BOSSKURR is still showing so much strength in this fight.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough game here, and even though LY4 is getting very, very close to finishing off his last item, it's kind of a tough game because Team BOSSKURR at the end of the day will be able to force fights later on. So the longer this game goes, Team BOSSKURR will start to scale into this game, and it's going to be very difficult for Resurgence to kind of put Team BOSSKURR in these precarious situations.
That's right, and of course, RSG seems like they don't really want to fully commit either towards a full-on fight because they are looking pretty much scattered up. With the carrot being nearby. Oh, Zaraki gets caught up, and that's a big blow. Last insanity. Sing managed to actually get that kill, but he will falter as well. That's Jason trying to actually run for his life. Glacia gets that double kill that he's been looking for so long. Now, BOSSKURR looking to actually finish what they started here. The damage is good. LY4 might just actually be able to actually wipe them all away. There goes Dweezy for that for the double as well. Looking for Logan as they will be pushed right back. Now, Xeno's going in for a second attempt, chasing on towards LY4. Of course, be able to secure the camp as well, but this is going to be a stalemate between the two of them, although Team BOSSKURR gets even more out of the bag.
Absolutely. This was just really, really nicely done by Team BOSSKURR here. Unfortunately, KZP may have unintentionally, you know, split the team into two. What? No, that shouldn't have killed. What is that damage? What in the world?
You just see how many autos just came out of LY4 in that split second, and there were still even more of that sort of shots being loading up. And here comes Zaraki, tries to actually burst down Sana. Sana does not go down. Instead, it will be the Natalia getting bursted, while Sing tries to actually dive in. Xeno here running for his life. Of course, this is going to be a little bit of a lost cause. They will have to give this one away. KZP hitting a brick wall, but that's not going to be too much of a problem. Now, they are looking to start the Lord.
Yep, and now as they move towards it, the Luminous Lord is very susceptible as Team BOSSKURR. They can either try to steal it or force a fight. Sana is kind of low, but Sino, looking for information here, might actually lose his life. He does have the immortality, but this is a scary situation as the rest of Team BOSSKURR is crashing on in, looking to steal this Lord. Can they actually do it? Resurgence, all Glorious Pathways being fought. They're fully committing to this. RSG looking to reset the Lord. They drop down the Revitalize to get a little bit of health, and the process starts all over again.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Jeff here. He's actually taking a Flicker instead of Revitalize. I feel it will be a little bit better for the high loss with that instead, but of course, we can't go back in time for that with Jason. Now, getting pressurized by Sino. They are actually retaking that Lord section here, but Jason walking in towards deadly places here as Jeb is definitely looking ready to actually land a stun.
Yep, they are just making sure that they don't have to necessarily face check brushes. And KZP, you know, even though he can face check, Lexia is coming to a point where he can actually shred through the armor and health that KZP offers with the Brock. So he's got to be extra careful when he does decide to face check. Oh, Sino! Might be a little bit of trouble. Oh, wow! Wow! Woo! What? 4 autos, and he got a double proc off of that. And now they're going to continue on pushing forward. Too easy for Jeps, getting very far to the back line. LY4 might be in some trouble, but unfortunately, Zaraki didn't have enough damage to one-shot him. And LY4 holds strong. This is going to be a very easy Luminous Lord for the side of Resurgence, as Team BOSSKURR are forced to back away after losing some of their key members.
Oh no. Oh, Leisha's coming in from the back as well. They're looking to actually steal this one off. It's falling really low. And oh my goodness me! This is going to be Resurgence securing the Lord still. But it's a mega coming in from Leisha here until he gets shut off. Logan gets finished off. And this is going to be a team wipe. And that was all going down in vain. Of course, Team BOSSKURR could not defend any longer. Members of RSG survives and now will break right in.
Yep, they're going to be crashing as many waves as possible here. However, remember, the rest of the teammates, there's only going to be 2. Zaraki and Too Easy for Jeps, who's coming back. The rest require at least 20 seconds here. They could look to funnel down one lane, but instead, they're trying to keep this siege minion alive to break right into the inhibitor. They could look to potentially end this with the Lord Empowered minions in the back, Sing with a Blast Insanity, trying to kill off Zaraki in the backline. Glorious Pathway dropped down by Too Easy for Jeps, but can they clear this up? It looks like they are, and they do have a successful defense for the side of Team BOSSKURR. However, the problems don't end there.
Yes, indeed. And of course, LY4 with that sort of a shred over onto the towers, they are opening up the base, leaving only one tower standing. And of course, that turret will be on the bottom side. But now Resurgence have free access in towards the base of BOSSKURR.
Yep. But remember, Team BOSSKURR have held on for a very long time. At this point, look at the items. Like, Zaraki has already hit his full build. The same can be said about LY4. The rest of the team is kind of catching up in terms of items. The Voliere doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter too much what he has, as long as he's able to do his job properly. Zaraki, on the other hand, he is looking to basically one-shot the backline with that Berserker's Fury as well. The extra crit just might be what Team BOSSKURR needs to finish this game off.
Of course, that might just be that key here for BOSSKURR's victory. But right now, it's definitely going to be pretty much challenging for them. And we are looking in towards a couple of all these members of BOSSKURR split towards the top side, though. And now there will be the Grok being sent upwards. KZP so far actually goes in for some really incredible setups for the rest of RSG. Same goes to Sync as well.
Yep. It looks like RSG is playing a very slow and methodical game right now. They're not willing to make too many mistakes at this point, but it has come to make it or break it for RSG here, because they're looking to get that final push up. Too Easy for Jeps now out of position, force the flicker out of there. That's going to be huge for RSG, because now Too Easy for Jeps can't just flicker right on top of LY4 to get a guaranteed stun.
Yeah, of course, that's definitely going to be that concern right there. While the Natalia is actually looking for ways to halt right in, to actually buy even more time for BOSSKURR. Just look at the position right now. Somebody's got to actually do something about this, or Resurgence can actually go full collapsing. It's going to be a 5 versus 4 if they do so.
Yep, and again, too easy for Jeps. Really, really big, but now that LY4 is in the mix, it's gonna be a lot tougher. Immortality already being popped as Cito trying to absorb some damage. Unfortunately, too easy for Jeps. Just wasn't big enough to actually handle five members of Resurgence here. Now look at Zaraki. What is he doing? He's looking to cut the wave so that Resurgence doesn't actually have a way to push into mid turret.
Yeah, he should have actually cut the problem side, but here comes the dive though. They are moving right in, but Resurgence now with the last insanity being popped there by Sync. He of course will have the immortality while BOSSKURR is actually coming right back, and this is the time for them to actually strike them all down. The win condition that you are talking about has been enabled, and oh my word! The rest of Resurgence have been wiped out.
Resurrecting soon.
Yup, and this is what I was talking about. Like, they were waiting for that backline one-shot potential, and now Zaraki is super potent to LY4. He's got to be extra careful this game.
Yeah, of course, one misstep, this is what happens. BOSSKURR will now clear everything that they see over the mid lane, and BOSSKURR will possibly get this Lord as well if they do get a little more helping hand. Logan, of course, pretty low, but he will be able to actually soak a little bit more. He does have immortality. The only member that's still pretty much still standing from Resurgence is gonna be Sana. And what can Sana do right there? He can only watch. And of course, now Luminous Lord over in the hands of BOSSKURR.
Yeah, I think, Resurgence have to rethink their positioning in terms of, like, where people need to stand just to make sure that there is some form of cover for LY4, because he can't really do too much now that his flicker is down. He still has to wait about 53 more seconds until he has a free escape mechanic from Zaraki, and even then, it's not guaranteed that he'll survive.
Yeah, and so far, I really gotta praise Zaraki for doing so much, like cutting the waves and like pushing towards the top side as well, and finally finding the right opportunity when that Lord comes up just online. They actually went in for the pickup against Resurgence, but now here comes another team fight here. Xeno is being forced to flicker away, but there's still the Lord right up in the mid lane here that they have to deal with. Sing just trying to hold on while he can. A couple of potions have been bought there by Sana, while BOSSKURR is going to be trying to open things up from the top side here. We're looking for Cito that's going to be crashed upon on, and here comes RSG. They definitely find a kill over on the Uranus, but that's the only thing that they can do for now.
Yep, this game has been dragging on for 22 minutes, and BOSSKURR has finally found their stride in the later half of the game. Now, they will take control ever so slowly of RSG's base, but it's still a tough battle. Team BOSSKURR have to constantly worry about the ever-pushing lanes of, the ever-pushing lanes coming into their base, and I think Resurgence just have to play off of that, maintain mid-priority, and they might actually pull this game through.
That's right, and now with Jeps here, soaking every sort of hit, he's getting that flicker off while buying a lot of time over the top side for that push. RSG not looking for a full commitment as well. They will respect each other's territory, and right now, of course, that stalemate is happening between the two of them, and Team BOSSKURR has catched up in goal, where now, of course, 70 over K, it doesn't mean anything at all. It's just extra cash to just buy potions for now.
Yep, and you can see the rest of the team is rotating down just to get some kind of information for the side of Resurgence to kind of tell, hey, this is where we should be, this is where we should expect Zaraki, this is where we need to be at what time, because at this point, like, everybody's pretty much hit their full build. Like, even Bruno, he's already ditched some of his items just to get a Wind Talker for that extra added bit of damage. And I mean, the only real threat to LY4 as of right now has to be Zaraki, who is full build with a Berserker's Fury on top of the Blade of Despair. So, getting one shot is not going to be fun. Too easy for Jeps actually gets caught out.
Oh no, he's getting pretty low, but he still has immortality. But Sing is actually burning up his last insanity, and he should not have possibly bit fully towards that. Zaraki, though, he's actually right inside of the fight, and now they're all backing away. RSG in trouble, while Alicia is actually getting pretty much 2 takedowns there. Bruno is going to be able to actually go down. Flicker coming out from Cito as well. My goodness, they are still surviving out of this. While, of course, there's only going to be the casualty, which is a vessel arrow lands, and now RSG fighting back. Zaraki now knocks over to LY4. LY4 goes down. That's the main damage source. And RSG now hoping to do this. And Zaraki with the double. 2 members left, and it's only gonna be Cino as well as Santa.
Oh my goodness, that was a completely insane fight for both of these teams. Team BOSSKURR holding on real tough, and Lexia there, he got so ambitious. He wanted to take out LY4 so badly, and he got so close in doing it, but unfortunately for him, Winds of Nature is a very powerful item, and LY4 just held on to it till the very end. Really just to mess with him.
Oh man, this game is actually extending to 25 minutes. We have hit that Thunder Belt for LY4 right now. And of course, so far in this game, he's only fallen 3 times. Well, of course, Jeps has been pretty much been that frontliner to do so much for Team BOSSKURR. And of course, Zaraki found that opening, and it took them really long to actually get towards LY4 until he gets so low.
Yeah, they kind of have to just... I'm not even sure how they kind of deal with Zaraki at this point. The map is super open. There isn't like any real way that you can like play around Zaraki unless Zaraki decides to find a more important target, which in this case, there is no important target other than LY4. And the side lanes, just look at that. Sync forced to use the last Insanity to get out of there. And now Cino might be in a lot of trouble here, but he's able to get just across the Guardian's barrier, to survive as Team BOSSKURR and Resurgence fight for mid priority and control. Oh no! Sync should not have gone down there, and now Resurgence is down an entire member from their team as Team BOSSKURR now will start to take control over this Luminous Lord.
That looks pretty bad for the side of Resurgence now. Of course, free roaming once again for Zaraki. He's looking in towards the back lines there, and of course, stalking really closely. Now he's going to be able to actually get this one for Team BOSSKURR, while they will secure yet another Lord. One of the longest games of this season, if I must say. We're hitting 27 minutes. 27 minutes.
I mean, both of these teams just refuse to lose here, and Sync, it's come to a point where people are just buying and selling their immortalities at will, just waiting for the cooldown to end. And Sana has now finally transformed his mask into something, you know, a little bit more useful for the team to give them some extra movement speed and inspire them as well. But Team BOSSKURR crashing down on Resurgence. They want to take those inhibitor turrets and put them on even pushing ground against them.
Now, with that Lord right in towards the mid side, they can actually open up the top as well. There is minions coming left, right, and center, and this is going to be looking pretty concerning. The Lord does go down, but they will give one turret away, while the Natalia is looking for an opening for the bottom side, but does not pick off Santa. So, now, we're looking at Logan, of course, going for a little bit more of that setup alongside with Cino here. Let's Sync still tries to actually hold on. For armor is still pretty much intact, but Jeff now forced to flicker away. LY4 almost opens up that immortality, while Cino, of course, finding a little bit more time. A couple more hits will be able to actually down that turret right here. RSG defending well enough, which will mean that Team BOSSKURR might need to back away.
Yeah, they just have to. They can't really crash into the base at this point. They don't have the minion waves. They don't have the added, the added wave clear to kind of help them out here. As the rest of RSG, they can easily, sacrifice one inhibitor turret. As long as they have an inhibitor turret standing, they have a lane that's constantly going to be pushing into Team BOSSKURR's base.
Yeah, and of course, there's so much more of that pressure now moving towards the side of Resurgence. You gotta say, Team BOSSKURR actually climbed back up, and if they do win this, it's quite a big comeback. We saw the charts earlier, it was mostly clad in red, and right now, about 26 minutes into its play, they start to actually turn it in towards blue when they got themselves that previous Lord and the one before that.
There's no way to sugarcoat this, but at this point, we're just going to expect to see this game last to, maybe even arguably 40 minutes until someone collapses under the pressure. We're looking at full build teams. We've got 2 freaking anti-QRSs on Too Easy for Jeps, but wait, this might be the moment that I've been waiting for. Too Easy for Jeps turns it around with the with the ultimate as well, and Sino is just running through the entire back line. They're healing up, but again, nothing much is being achieved here. And I maybe thought that Team BOSSKURR were willing to take the risk of going for a full-blown team fight.
Yeah, I guess like we might actually see a little bit of a conclusion with that Lord spawning up in another minute or so. But the good news is that Depths here has already popped his immortality, which also cost a flicker at the same time. I don't know, like maybe Resurgence need to actually take note of all these timers that certain important skills are down. But with that being said, 45 seconds on the clock before that sort of Lord. What can Resurgence do? Can they still find that way to actually path right in towards that Lord and hopefully get it all stolen up? Because none of these guys are actually carrying that retribution, and at this point, it's going to be a little bit harder for Zaraki to just walk right in and execute anybody. Like you said, everyone's just getting so beefy. Everyone's hitting level 15. Up to it's even Sync here, who even dropped 6 times. He should have had pretty much full items in the bag. And oh, look. At Depths, he seems like he bought something right there.
Finally, he gets the Twilight Armor. He's been needing this for quite some time because the amount of burst coming out of LY4 is rather ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie. So getting a Twilight Armor now is going to be so good for them, just to buy some time for the rest of his team to, he doesn't get instantly bursted down. And I think that's going to be a very good buy for them. However, just to kind of reiterate, recap on what you mentioned at the beginning of the game, that, Natalia not only works as an assassin, but also a split pusher, and she's constantly trying to pull Sana away, get his attention, force him to come for the 1v1, and then look to rotate because Natalia has a higher base movement speed than Sana at this point of time. Like, look at how fast Zaraki is in that stealth mode.
Yeah, and not only one person is split pushing, there's also Sino. He's been distracting so many of all these members with Uranus, and now all 3 members are actually going on the hunt as well, while the Lord, of course, will be pulled in and out of that sort of the place that he's resting. But, of course, there seems to be no point of this time here for RSG to actually fully collapse upon Logan, Laisha, or even Jeb, so they're just taking their sweet time.
Wait a minute.
Oh, looks Sing's just going to be having his armor popped, so this is a call for them to actually back away, and maybe Laisha can actually solo this one off.
I doubt he can. It's not that I don't doubt that he can solo it. I just doubt that, Resurgence is going to let this happen. Like, they're looking for some picks in LY4. Now, with the red buff, might actually look to commit to a full-blown fight. However, Sync, he still needs that Firaga armor to be relevant just so that he has access to his ultimate. And just check out Zaraki right now. He's going to keep pushing that bottom wave and forcing Sana to respond to it. And Sino, now in the top side, willing to sacrifice himself to allow BOSSKURR to slowly chip away at the Lord. So Resurgence is kind of stuck in a rock in a hard place type situation.
Yeah, of course, now that they kind of realize what's going on, they're going to reset this once again. They're actually playing with their minds right now. BOSSKURR now have that sort of Firaga armor being popped over side of Sing. But Sana now going in towards the middle of fight. They might actually get this really good catch as we are looking at both of these tanks actually getting shredded out. And now RSG on the back foot. They are actually backing away. Sana will go down. This is going to be a big opening while the back door is coming